Didn't see you there. Welcome to the first episode of the Omega Drip podcast, featuring me. Yeah. All right.
Today, me and my co-host will be discussing some important NBA stuff for the upcoming season, such as our power rankings, our award predictions, our rookie team predictions, and the top 10 players at each position for the upcoming season. So, to start, we'll be going over our power rankings, starting with who we think will be the worst team in the NBA.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start it off with the Charlotte Hornets.
I agree. The Charlotte Hornets made no real offseason signings other than giving Terry Rozier a bad contract. And they lost their best player, Kemba, who carried them to most of their wins, and their second best player, Jeremy Lamb, and replaced it with a player who averaged 10 points last season. And their team's just built off of fringe starters.
And before we fully start, I'm just gonna let you know, I kind of I'm a Wizards fan, so I may be a bit biased. He's a Celtics fan, so he's definitely gonna be very biased. So yeah, we'll continue.
Bro, we already started. Okay, whatever. Okay.
Who do you have 29?
I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's my 29th team in the NBA.
Explain, because I do not have them.
I think that for the most part, their team's young, and then I think that they're going to trade Kevin Love at least halfway through the season, and I just don't see their team accounting for many wins other than Colin Sexton is going to have another good season after he improved his three-point shooting.
So I actually have the Phoenix Suns as the second worst team in the league. It may seem like they have enough young assets to compete, but really they're just complete shit show, if we're being honest. The front office is definitely the worst run, minus the Wizards, in the league. Trading away T.J. Warren for essentially nothing.
Hey, come on, give to the Charlotte Hornets.
They're almost as bad. And trading away T.J. Warren for nothing, as well as, who they pick, Cam Johnson in the draft this year? They traded.
I think he's not going to have a high ceiling, but when he's going to be good, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll be a bust. I just think for what they could have gotten, they messed that one up. All right.
Okay, for the 28th team, I have the New York Knicks.
All right, I actually have the Cleveland Cavaliers for the same reasons you just went over, so why you got the Knicks?
Okay, I have the Knicks there because they basically signed after they lost out on Kyrie, Zion, and Kevin Durant. They basically signed all players who play the power forward position, and they don't have a point guard, really, other than maybe Emmanuel Mudiay.
I mean, you're sleeping on Frank Ntilikina, if you're being honest.
See, you don't even know how to pronounce his name. That's how shit he is.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, and then R.J. Barrett, I think he'll be pretty good, but otherwise, Kevin Knox, I think he's going to have a better season, but otherwise, and Mitchell Robinson is also going to be pretty good, but the rest of their team's just terrible.
Fair. Okay, I actually have the Memphis Grizzlies at 28.
Wait, you said you had the Cavs at 28.
Oh, shit, yeah. Okay.
You have the Grizzlies at 27.
Yeah. Who do you have at 27?
I have the Phoenix Suns. You already went over the reasons why I have them there.
Okay, so Memphis at 27. Ja's going to be good, Rookie of the Year candidate, but also I think Brandon Clark will be a sleeper. You said that.
Jared Jackson's going to have a great season.
But realistically, they lost Conley, and Ja will be better than Conley in a few years, but not right now. And I don't even, who they even have?
They have Valanciunas, who had a really good. After getting traded to them, he averaged like 20 and 10.
Yeah, no, they won't be terrible, but they're not going to be good by any stretch.
So, are we on 26 right now?
Yeah.
So I have the Washington Wizards at 26.
I also have them at 26.
Okay, so basically the Washington Wizards have Bradley Beal. And that's basically the only reason that they're not dead last in the league.
Damn. So it's like that. I mean, it's true, but John Wall's not going to be back. Even if, I don't think John Wall will come back a shell of his former self, but even if he did, he's not going to be back before the season ends. All our hope is basically in Rui and Thomas Bryant at this point. We hope Beal re-signs, but he probably won't. So, yeah. Unless...
Yeah, you traded Otto Porter, who broke out after he got traded, for nothing because you didn't sign either of the players.
And I'm actually okay with the Otto Porter trade because we saved a lot of cap there. The Oubre trade was the one that pissed me off more because we got nothing for that, and Oubre actually had a future. Porter had already capped out. So.
Okay, so 25 of the Memphis Grizzlies.
I have the Magic.
Okay, I want you to explain that because I have them a lot higher up my list.
If I'm being honest, I've never watched a Magic game in my life. They
have
Aaron Gordon.
I'll explain later.
Bamba's a bust.
Okay, I'll explain later why I have them higher up my list. We'll just skip that for now.
Fair enough.
24 I have the Atlanta Hawks.
I have the Thunder.
Okay.
I think the Hawks are going to be better than that.
Okay, my issue is the Hawks have basically no defense on their entire team other than their rookies, who I think are pretty good defenders. Trae Young can't defend. I think Trae Young's going to average 23 this season and shoot better than he did last year. But overall, they have a good starting lineup, I think. And also they lost Dwayne Dedman, who's a really good role-playing center who can shoot threes. So
and Taurean Prince.
Oh yeah, I don't
Pretty
understand that trade at all. Okay.
And obviously the Thunder's no need for explanation. They have Shea and Steven Adams, and then just picks. They're going for the future.
I have them at 23. Who do you have at 23?
I have the Knicks at 23.
Okay, I'm gonna explain why I have them one higher. I don't think it really matters, but they also have Gallinari, so he's gonna be okay.
Yeah, fair enough. But the Knicks, I have them a lot higher than you because I think the East is weak enough, at least in the lower portion, to the point where a core of like Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson is good enough to win more games than any of the other teams lower than them. So I think it's a fair shout at least.
I think it could happen. I just don't think it will.
They just need all of their young players need to have a good season.
Okay, so 22. Who do you have? I have the Detroit Pistons.
I have the Timberwolves.
Okay, so my explanation for why I have the Detroit Pistons here is they have Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin has a one option, not terrible, but he's not going to lead a team to the playoffs on his own.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond proved that he just can't play in the playoffs.
He's just a glass cleaner.
Yeah. And I like the Derrick Rose signing. They got him on a really good contract. I don't like Reggie Jackson. He's not a good starting point guard in my opinion.
Fair.
And their draft pick isn't going to be an instant option. He's more for the future, if we're being honest.
True. So I have the Timberwolves at the 22nd because, honestly, I think they could have done worse. But I actually think Jarrett Culver's going to have a great first season. And obviously, Cat's still going to be good. Wiggins is... I think this is the season where either Wiggins turns into an average player or just busts out completely. And obviously, I don't think he's ever going to become what he was supposed to be. But he's either going to become, like, solid or trash. And I think that moves them up and down a couple ratings.
To go off that, Wiggins is almost I think he's a borderline average player right now. But if he just gave effort on defense, he's an above average player because he's pretty good on offense, just inefficient.
Yeah.
But then he'd be a lockdown defender because he's so athletic.
I think he's still...
I don't understand he's just too young.
I think he's still in the mindset that he's the next, LeBron, whatever, so that he doesn't care enough to defend.
So 21, I have the Chicago Bulls.
I have the Bulls also.
Okay, what I'm saying is I think they have one of the best futures in the NBA. Kobe White, I like that draft pick.
Wendell.
Zach LaVine, young, and he after Otto Porter got traded to the team, all his stats improved because he had someone to kick it out to just knock down threes. Otto Porter improved when he got traded. Lauri Markkanen, that's a 20-point per game scorer. And then Wendell Carter, he's a good defender and he's a stretch big. So I don't think there's
much to be upset about there.
Yeah, they're just too young. So
in 3 years, they'll be a solid playoff team, most likely.
So 20, I have the Timberwolves.
I have the Pistons, and I don't think they're very good. I think they have enough to be relevant, but not challenge for the playoffs.
Yeah, I have the Timberwolves this high just because I like Covington a lot, and I just think that he makes his team better because he defends and knocks down. He's what Wiggins should be, basically.
Probably, yeah. 19th. I have the Mavericks.
I have the Magic. Okay.
That's a little high.
I'm going to explain why I have the Magic.
All right.
Nikola Vucevic re-signed.
Fair. Too much, probably.
It doesn't affect this season though.
That's true.
It was probably too much money, but whatever. I think that they shouldn't have re-signed him, but because they did, their team gets better.
Yeah. They'll be good now, but their future.
Along with that, Jonathan Isaac, I think he's about to have a great season.
Okay.
He showed flashes last year that he could be a star in the NBA. Or a borderline all-star, I should say, my bad.
Yeah.
And he's a really good defender. Aaron Gordon, he's 16 points per game plus. And then DJ Augustine, that's just not a good point guard. But Evan Fournier, he's okay. So I just think all around
they're all right. Yeah. Who do I have? The Mavericks. If Kristaps comes back, and goes into his prime with no gap year, they're probably better than this. But obviously with Luka, Kristaps, who do they even have?
They don't have much. No, they don't. No. They have Tim Hardaway Jr.
Oh yeah, he's all right. But they paid him way too much, didn't they?
No, they didn't pay him.
They traded him for the Knicks. But he has a big contract, though. They're all right. Luka's going to be probably better than he was last season by a few points. So, all right.
Okay, next I have the San Antonio Spurs at 18.
Okay, you can explain that.
Okay, I have the Spurs at 18 because I like Popovich, obviously greatest or up there with the great coaches of all time, so he's going to lead them to wins. I like Derek White. I like Bryn Forbes as well. And DeMar DeRozan, if he was in any other era, he'd be a superstar, but he just doesn't fit the NBA.
Yeah.
And then Aldridge, he's had a couple good seasons on the Spurs, but his athleticism's going down. He's older. So I don't see him doing as well as he has the last couple of seasons.
Fair enough. I have the Hawks at 18. This might seem a little high, but with John Collins and Trae Young, even if they just grow a tiny bit from where they were last year, adding on with DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish.
Yeah, I think Cam Reddish might end up being a bust, but DeAndre Hunter has too much. He already has a high enough floor to help them get wins. So I think they'll end up either squeaking into the playoffs or being in a Kings situation where they make a push but just don't make it.
Okay, 17, I have the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, I have the Heat.
Okay, I'd like to put the Kings higher, but I like Buddy Hield, 20-point per game scorer. De'Aaron Fox is going to improve. Marvin Bagley, I think, is going to average 20 next season.
I think if they kept Willie, they were a solid playoff team.
No, they replaced him with Dwayne Dedmon, and I think that Dwayne Dedmon fits the modern NBA better than Willie, other than rebounding.
Hey, Aiden.
Hi.
Is Daniel here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, keep going.
So I also like Harrison Barnes. He's pretty good, but otherwise I could see them making the playoffs as a 6, 7, 8 seed, but not being important enough to challenge or anything.
So I have the Heat at 17. It's just because they have too much talent to not make the playoffs, but I don't have them doing anything in the playoffs. They have Jimmy Butler. Dragic is still pretty good.
17 would mean they wouldn't make the playoffs.
But I have more.
West. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I like 7 or 8.
Fine.
But it's
Yeah.
So they're solid, but not actually good.
Okay, so next we have the 16. I have Miami Heat. So.
Okay, I have the Kings, pretty much for the same reasons you just said. Good young core.
Okay, that's just a swap. Okay, 15. I have the Mavericks. So I like Luka to average 23, put up good rebounding and assist numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Porzingis, I think he can come back. He's not going to be as athletic, but they're going to move him to center most likely.
Yeah.
Which will help him come back quicker because he won't have to go up against as athletic players as he used to at power forward. And I just like the 3-point shooting on that team and the just all around young core that they built.
I say
2 players.
The Hawks and the Mavericks are 2 teams that could slip into the playoffs with a young core easily.
Yeah.
So at 15, I have the Pelicans. Pretty much I don't think Zion is really going to be as good as he's hyped up to be. I think he'll end up, like most people say, like a better Julius Randle. But he'll be solid this year. Obviously, Rookie of the Year contender. They got Drew Holiday, they got Lonzo, Josh Hart, and a ton of draft picks, Jackson Hayes. They're going to be good. But the question is, will they make the playoffs this year or take another year of development and make it next year? So, low playoff seed most likely.
Okay, so I have 14, the Pelicans. Basically the same stuff, except I see Brandon Ingram coming in, improving, averaging what he did at the end of the season, which was around 23 shooting better than he usually does from 3 at least. His field goal percentage is pretty good anyways. And being he's the first option on the team, so he's going to get the ball. And it will take pressure off Zion, which will help Zion transition better, basically.
All right, at 14, I have the Spurs. DeJounte Murray coming back probably will take a little while to ease back in. They still got LaMarcus Aldridge. They still got DeMar DeRozan. Pop, obviously. I think they're always a playoff team. Likely to not do anything in the playoffs, but make it either way.
Yeah, that's why it was hard for me to put them that far back, but I just don't see their team being good enough. Like, even for Pop, I just don't know how he's going to really do that. Like, I could see them still making the playoffs, just not.
They'd have to have a really good season.
Okay, so 13, I have the Brooklyn Nets. So, Kyrie, he's shown in Boston that he's one of the elite players, but he went from a young core to another young core, except he has Kevin Durant, but he's not playing next season.
Yeah.
So he's going to have the same issues that he had on the Celtics, just with a different team. So I just don't see it. And it's with a worse young core. Like, slightly, but, like, still a worse young core. And I just can't see them being that important in the playoffs. Like, they're going to make it, but I just don't see them doing much.
True. At 13, I got the Rockets. Most people would probably say they're going to be better. Yeah. Honestly, the chemistry is just not going to work. Westbrook, Harden, they're high school friends, whatever. They're too ball dominant. It's not going to work. Capella is still good, obviously. PJ Tucker. They got a few other players, but they'll make the playoffs. Probably lose when they shouldn't be losing, but yeah.
What I'm saying is it's like John Wall and Bradley Beal. It's like they're ball dominant. They're on the same team.
But they're
just a better version of both of them.
I think that's fair. Yeah, but the thing is, Russ and John Wall are around the same amount of ball dominance, but Harden is so much more ball dominant than Beal.
Yeah, Russ is gonna take a reduced role like he tried to.
Yeah.
D'Antoni's gotta figure something out because his system works in the regular season. It just ain't been working in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I just think they'll probably end up being like what Russ was at the Thunder and disappointing consistently.
Okay, 12, I have the Toronto Raptors.
I also have the Raptors.
They lost Kawhi Leonard. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is.
Siakam's going to improve. That's basically all we have to say. 11, I have the Trailblazers.
I have the Celtics. Young core. This guy. They got Kemba. He's probably a better fit for the Celtics than Kyrie was, or Kyrie had proven to be. But, I think they'll do around the same. One round deep into the play. Like, they'll win one round in the playoffs and then go out. But they're still a developing team, so.
I'll say why I have them higher. It's not a biased thing. I just have them higher than 2 other teams than you.
Okay.
Or 3, I don't know. And then, why did I have the Trailblazers here because they don't have Nurkic and they just traded for Whiteside and lost Aminu.
Yeah.
They're just going to be around there. If they get Nurkic back and he's any good, I could see them maybe sneaking their way up into the conference finals. Or they'll probably be in the conference semifinals if Nurkic comes back. Okay, and then 10, I have the Indiana Pacers.
I also have the Pacers.
Okay, so I like the signing of Brogdon.
Yep.
Got T.J. Warren for nothing.
I can't believe that.
And I really like his game. He shot 40% from 3 last year. Scored 20-ish points.
Yeah.
So I like that. Along with that, they also have Lamb, who's probably gonna have to come off the bench when Oladipo comes back, and that's a really good bench player. Yeah. So I just see them being pretty good.
I do too. I think it's all about how Oladipo comes back. If he comes back exactly the same, they're like a dark horse to get into the conference finals. But if not, they're still solid without him being the same.
So I have the Houston Rockets at 9, and the reason I have the Houston Rockets at 9 is because although I don't think their chemistry will be the greatest, their team is just too good not to be.
Yeah, I think there's an argument.
And they have great role players. Clint Capella fits perfectly with both James Harden and Russell Westbrook. They got Eric Gordon to knock down threes, and PJ Tucker, probably the best corner three taker in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it depends. Because if Harden and Russ fight in the first couple games of the season, it's going to be hard to continue, especially into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if they're fine together, then they could easily go further. Okay, so I have the Knicks at, the Nets at 9. Basically, just without KD being there, I feel like they're going to be a lot like what the Celtics were this season. Kind of shaky during the regular season, but brought it back towards the end. And then, did really well in the first round. People thought, they might pull something off against the Bucks, but then eventually lose in the second round.
I like, to go off that, I like Karis LeVert coming back.
And Dinwiddie.
Averaging 20. Dinwiddie, the thing is, when is he going to play?
That's
Like when Kyrie goes out, are they going to play a 2-guard?
I have no idea.
I just need to see it I just need to see Kyrie with a young core.
And honestly, I don't even like the DeAndre Jordan signing because I think they should be starting Jared Allen for the future instead of DeAndre Jordan for a year.
Yeah, no, that was stupid.
Pretty stupid, yeah.
I think they'll still start Jared Allen though because he's already a better defender and averages similar points.
I mean, it only makes sense.
Okay, so at 8, I have the Boston Celtics, and the main thing that made me put them a little higher than you was Jason Tatum, without Kyrie this year, has said that, I don't know if he will, but he has said that he will average 20 points per game this year.
I can see it.
And if he averages 20 points per game and shoots like he did his rookie year, not last, everyone's stats on the Celtics went down last year when Kyrie and Gordon Hayward came back.
Yeah.
So if he shoots like he did his rookie year or similar to it, along with Kemba, who's a great locker room presence, I don't know if he should take more of a reduced role. And then Jaylen Brown's a really good defender. The only thing that I could see us dropping on is Enes Kanter at center. Yeah. He just can't play defense.
I was going to say he's all right, but I think losing Al was big, especially he's like the dad of the team.
Yeah, that's why I miss him. Come back.
Okay, I have the Trailblazers at 8. I don't even just threw them in, if I'm going to be honest.
I don't even know. Okay.
I mean, last season they completely surprised everyone, so why not?
7, I have the Golden State Warriors. At least for the start of the season, they won't have Clay.
Yeah.
I don't know how Draymond will do this year. At least during the regular season. He always turns it up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But just 3-point shooting, just not that great.
Terrible.
He's a really good defender, obviously, and he does everything that nobody wants to do on the court, basically.
Yeah.
So, they're still in the hunt.
What are they going to do with D'Lo?
I see them playing him until Clay gets back and then trading him.
I guess so, yeah. I could see them trading him, soon, but I don't know what they could realistically get for him.
I don't know why they would either. I don't know what they're... I just don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I think we have a swap because I have the Jazz at 7, and I think they're, again, a dark horse to get to the conference finals or even the finals if they turn it up. Conley, Donovan Mitchell.
I also got Bogdanovich, which is an underrated signing because last year when Oladipo went out, he was able to lead a team to stay at least stable until the playoffs.
And, of course, Rudy. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think they have what it takes to get to the conference finals. It's just if they do it or not.
Yeah. So, we have a swap, basically. I have 6 Utah Jazz. He has 6 Golden State.
Yeah.
5, I have the Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
I like their team all around. I like Jamal Murray, obviously Gary Harris, and Jokic is gonna... I think he could be the MVP next year. Best passing big man since probably Walton or Sabonis, maybe all time. But the thing is, they're young right now, and they just don't have enough playoff experience. They felt... I don't know how they lost to the Trailblazers team last year.
Honestly.
Jokic should have taken over against Kanter. Didn't happen. So, I can't take that back out of like
Yeah.
their power ranking.
So I have the Sixers at 5. They could be higher, but Simmons still can't shoot. Embiid, top 2 center in the league. Obviously, they got Al. That's a nice signing.
Also, I like the fact that they knew Jimmy Butler was going to leave.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they were able to just get Josh Richardson for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, plus
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, they're looking good. But it's really, I think, all they really need is everyone to just play at the level that they're at. If nobody disappoints, ouch.
Okay, keep going.
If nobody disappoints, they're likely to make the conference finals, especially with the East being pretty weak. So. Yeah.
Okay, so next I have the Bucks actually
Okay.
at 4. I like, of course, Giannis and Chris Middleton have similar seasons to what they did last year. I like the signing of Kyle Korver actually, great
Yeah.
3-point shooter. Will work perfectly with Giannis, and he's already been giving Giannis tips on shooting and
Yeah.
stuff. So we're good. Malcolm Brogdon, they lost him, which I thought he was their 3rd best player last year.
Probably.
And Eric Bledsoe disappears in the playoffs. I'll put them at 4.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I have the Lakers at 4. I think this is either this year or next year is LeBron's last,
Yeah.
top 3 player kind of year. So obviously you got AD. They got Boogie. I think pretty underrated signing. Kept Kuzma. I mean, and they actually got a couple of good signings for the bench. Quinn Cook. They got who else did they get? JaVale.
They got Danny Green.
Yeah, and JaVale actually had a pretty good season last year. So
They got Rondo again.
they're pretty solid overall. It's just a question. One big injury to AD or
Yeah,
LeBron.
the thing is, so I have them at 3. Thing is, the reason I can't put them higher is because they have the best 2 in the league. Like, it's better than Leonard and George, just
Close,
because it's close. But the reason that they're behind them is because they don't have the better role players. Basically, the
Yeah.
Clippers have off the bench. They got Lou Will,
And
they
Montrez.
have Montrez. They also have Patrick Beverly, Landry Shamet.
Yeah.
So I just don't see them. I don't see them being as good as the Clippers next
Yeah.
year.
Probably close to between them and the Nuggets to be the second best
So
team
you
in
have
the
the
West.
Bucks at 3. Okay.
Okay, I got the Bucks at 3. They're the best team in the East. I don't think they're better than the Sixers, but they'll probably have a better record than the Sixers. So, yeah.
I have the Sixers as the best team. They're going to be the best defensive team in the NBA. Easily. Ben Simmons. Josh Richardson's a lockdown defender.
Tobias
Al
Harris.
Horford. Tobias Harris isn't that good of a defender.
He's all right, though. He's not a liability.
And then Embiid. So, I just don't... They're going to be the best defensive team in the NBA. And I'd say a top 5, top 10 minimum offense. So I just don't see them not being great next year.
I think the clear-cut conference finals for the East is the Sixers and the Bucks. I mean,
Unless some trade happens or someone surprises
Yeah.
us next year.
yeah, the West is more. There's more options for a dark
Okay.
horse. So then at 2, I have the Nuggets. Just probably Jokic and Murray have already broken out, but I think Murray will turn into like a real all-star, like perennial all-star player. Jokic, I have him as my MVP for this year. I think Michael Porter Jr. has a good year. So overall, I think they're the second best team in the league.
Just going off the Michael Porter thing, I don't think he's going to get many minutes, so I don't think he's going to have that great of a season.
He probably
Because-
won't get many. He'll have a reduced role, obviously.
Because their team's just stacked. So, number 1, I think we both have the Clippers.
Yeah, they're just too good, realistically. To
They
not.
have great role players and 2 MVP candidates last year. And then they have 2 MVP candidates and one of the most clutch players in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard, so I don't think that there's much argument.
They
as
were
to why.
already a playoff team without the 2 MVP candidates. Throw them in, and I think they're the clear-cut best team in the league.
Yes. Okay, so next we'll go on to our award predictions.
I'm gonna grab another drink real quick.
Fat ass. Alright, so I'll just go for my first award prediction, which is MVP. I have Giannis. Oh, we're also doing, you can do 2 people for each award because fuck it.
Okay.
So I have Giannis or Jokic as my MVP. Giannis. The reason I have them as MVPs because they have no other superstar on their team, so I don't have to share the ball with them. So they're going to put up the best stats and carry their team the most.
I think Giannis and Jokic are the 2 MVP candidates. I have Jokic winning. You have Giannis winning, right? So I think that could go back and forth.
Okay, Coach of the Year. I think we both have Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
I think he should have been Coach of the Year this year,
Probably.
but he didn't win it. So, with 2 superstars,
Yeah, just add on like 20 to 25 wins,
Yeah,
and
he's
obviously.
gonna be Coach of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year. I have Anthony Davis or Giannis. Anthony Davis first though because he's gonna be the only player really playing defense on that LA team.
It's true. I have Paul George and Anthony Davis. Paul George winning just because I think Kawhi is just as good a defender as PG, but Kawhi mainly turns it up in the playoffs. PG was solid the whole, he was an MVP candidate all of last year, so I think that could easily happen.
For Rookie of the Year, I have the 2 Duke freshmen. I could see it going either way. Zion, I have him up there, obviously, because I think he's the best talent in the draft. But I think RJ could also win it because he's on a terrible team, so he's going to be getting the ball. And Rookie of the Year isn't how well you lead your team, it's just the stats you put up, basically.
Fair. I think it's probably going to be Zion, but I had down Jarrett Culver just because most people say, well, he choked in the March Madness finals, but the whole season and most of the tournament until the semis and finals, he was one of the best players, probably behind Zion. Plus, he's on the Timberwolves, who don't have a ton of shooting, so I think he comes out as at least a candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Okay, and then Most Improved, I have Jonathan Isaac because I think he came to the league as a raw prospect. Everyone knew he wasn't going to make an instant impact. He's shown improvement his first 2 seasons. Last year he showed flashes of what he could be, except it wasn't on a consistent basis. So I think this year he's gonna find a way to average, I'd say, 16 points and be a good defensive player on a bad Orlando Magic team for the most part.
Okay, for my Most Improved, I have Mitchell Robinson. Knicks, just terrible team. He was already good last year, but I think he'll have an increased role this year. There are a lot of candidates, but I just like his potential the most.
Okay, and 6th man, I have Terrence Ross of the Orlando Magic. Last year averaged 14.5 points. I would have Lou Williams, obvious pick, but he's on too good of a team to put up the same stats. I think this race is basically between Terrence Ross and maybe, I don't even know, because Sabonis is going to start, so I really don't know who could really win this award.
Honestly, I kind of messed it up because I had Lonzo as my 6th man of the year, but he's probably going to end up starting with Drew Holiday at shooting guard.
This dumbass.
But at the end of the day, if he were to come off the bench, it probably is not going to happen. But if he was, I think he's at least competing for 6th man of the year, so I just threw that in. All right, so now to the all-rookie teams. You can go.
Okay, so for my all-rookie first team, as my 2 guards, I have John Morant and Jarrett Culver. John Morant, both on bad teams, both high draft picks. I think that explains itself. As my forwards, I have R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson. R.J. Barrett, and they're my 2 Rookie of the Year candidates, basically, so I just could not put them on my first team.
Yeah.
And then Brandon Clark is my center because...
Summer League MVP.
Yeah, he was the Summer League MVP, and there aren't that many good centers
There really
from
aren't,
this
yeah.
class. So I think they do it in terms of forwards, but for we're just doing 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so for my all-rookie first team, the 2 guards, I have Darius Garland and Jarrett Culver. You're probably thinking Darius Garland's not going to be that good with Colin Sexton, but I think Darius Garland's already going to be better than Sexton. And they're a lot different with Sexton being a driver and Garland being more of a shooter, so I think he just has a good season. Forwards, I have Zion and Michael Porter Jr., although, like you said, Michael Porter Jr. probably doesn't get a ton of minutes. He was top 3 draft pick potential last year, so I could easily see him, being an impact player off the bench. And at center, I have Jackson Hayes, purely because he's just the best center. There isn't that many options.
So to just go against what you said about Darius Garland being the best guard on his team, you said that Colin Sexton's a driver, but last year he shot over 40% after the All-Star break from 3 and averaged 20 points. So I'm just saying I could see Darius Garland not being as good as Colin Sexton, who didn't even make his All-Rookie first team.
Yes. And while Colin
Okay, well-
Sexton did shoot well in the second half of the season, at the end of the day, he came into the league as a driver, or a slasher at least. So,
Okay, for my second team, I have Kobe White, Darius Garland as my 2 guards. Kobe White, I like that he's on the Bulls because even if they start
Sato.
he's still going to have a good role on the team, so I still think he's going to put up stats. Like in Summer League, he put up stats, and I think he'll be able to still do the same in the NBA. Then also, I like Darius Garland as well. I think he's one of the most skilled players in this draft, and he's a good shooter coming out of college, unlike most players from this draft class. So as a sleeper pick, as one of my forwards, I have Dylan Windler from Belmont.
Fair.
He had a good one March Madness game.
What, he dropped what, like
He
36
dropped.
or
Yeah,
something?
he was going off against Maryland, I
Yeah.
believe, and
Yeah.
I could just see him on a bad Cleveland Cavaliers team coming in, averaging 10-plus points, somewhat like a Kevin Huerter. I know they're both ginger, but like I think they're similar players.
Yeah.
Then Rui as my forward.
He'll get a ton of minutes. They suck.
Yeah, the Wizards just suck ass. Jackson Hayes as my center, just because he's going to catch some bodies, and he's going to start, so.
Okay, so before I get into my second team, it was kind of just, I threw in some players that I like. The reasoning, a little questionable. So my guards, I have John Morant and Tyler Herro. I think that's pretty fair to be. Because John Morant, most people would have on the first team all-rookie. You know, just a great all-around player. Tyler Herro showed great in the Summer League. Most people already liked him before the Summer League. Great shooter, you know, just overall good player.
Yeah, the only thing is, I like Tyler Herro, and I think I would have actually put him on my first team if he was on a team other than the Heat.
Yeah, that's the problem. But I think it shows how much the Heat already like him, because in trade talks they put him on the untouchable list, and he hasn't even played an NBA game. So, then forwards, I got Rui. Same reason he said Wizards suck. Great summer league. Looks like he'll be good this year and in the future. Power forward, I have Chuma Okeke from Auburn. I think he ACL tear obviously, but before that he was top 10 discussion. So I think anything can happen. And center, might not have even heard of him. Nicholas Claxton from Alabama. I don't know. He just looked good in one game against Washington, so threw him in.
So I just want to throw this in. I heard of this guy after I made my list, and I didn't think to put him in. For most improved, another person that could get in for most improved is Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simmons.
It's Simons.
Okay, Beast.
Dude, there's only one N. That's how you spell Simon. Right?
I don't know.
Okay, well, just that I tried my best. Okay, he could get in. He could get in for most improved because the Trailblazers already put him on untouchables, so it implies that they think he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait. Shout for most improved. Lonnie Walker had a great summer league. Dropped like 26 in one game. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, so most improved. Shout out to Gershon Yabusele. Got dropped from the Celtics.
Anything can happen.
So, top 10 players at each position. This is our final segment. I know you're sad.
It's gone by so fast, hasn't it?
It's chilling, you know. we're chilling. So for point guard, number 1 point guard in the NBA, Steph Curry.
Same.
Number 2, I have Damian Lillard.
I do as well.
Number 3, I have Kyrie.
I do as well.
Number 4, I have Russell Westbrook.
Holy shit. Okay.
Number 5, I have Kemba.
Me too.
Number 6, I have Ben Simmons.
Me too.
Number 7, I have D'Angelo Russell.
Okay, finally. I have Mike Conley at 7.
Okay, the reason I have D'Angelo Russell... Okay, I think all our first 6 are pretty self-explanatory as to why they're there.
A few could be switched.
I have Ben Simmons over D'Angelo Russell because Ben Simmons is a better passer. If he gets a jumper, he's
top 3 probably.
top 10 player in the NBA if he has a 35% three-point
Yeah,
shot.
even just average.
Okay, so D'Angelo Russell at 7. I have him above Mike Conley by 1 because he's gonna improve this year, and also I don't know if he's even gonna play point guard, but
Yeah.
we'll just say he will.
That's the only.
It's
I
two
would have
point
him.
guards.
I would have him at 7, but it's just the Warriors that scare
Yeah,
me.
so he had a really good season last year. He put up similar stats to what Mike Conley did, except he's much younger, and he put up more assists, I believe, on similar shooting splits. So I just see, other than Mike Conley is a much better defender, I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I just see him as a better player to Mike Conley.
No, I like him too. Okay, and then so at 8, I have Jamal Murray. Already was really good last season. He's the second option to my MVP, Jokic, so he's likely to get a lot of assists, a lot of points again. You know, just solid. I have the Nuggets as the second best team.
I have Mike Conley there.
Yeah.
And then for 9, I have Kyle Lowry and John Wall.
Mm.
So I don't like John Wall as a player for the most part, but I can't deny that he's probably a top 10 point guard. But after this, we're doing this based off of what we saw last season. Before his injury, he was putting up top 10 point guard stats.
Yeah.
The thing is, after this injury,
Probably won't.
he's just not going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. I have D'Lo at 9 and John Wall at 10, so.
At 10, I have Jamal Murray.
Okay.
Okay, for shooting guards, for number 1, I have James Harden.
Same.
2, Klay Thompson. Okay, this is, I don't know, but I have Victor Oladipo at 3. This is because last season I saw him, last season and the season before,
Yeah.
he was the best player on a not a contender, but a contender
Above
for the
average,
Eastern Conference Finals. And he is a lockdown defender and a great leader, so I just see him as slightly better than Bradley Beal.
So, as a Wizards fan, you might say it's biased, but I think Bradley Beal is better than Oladipo. I think the year Oladipo broke out and last season for Beal were very comparable. They both had 20 plus. Beal had 25, 5 and 5. Some would say all NBA snub. I wouldn't say that, but I would say he was close.
Okay, so what I have to say about that, though, is Beal's putting up empty stats,
Fair.
whereas Oladipo's putting up stats on a contender as the best player on the team. So before I see that from Bradley Beal, I just have Victor Oladipo as a better player. And then I
Okay.
think we have a swap there. So number
Yeah.
5, I have Donovan Mitchell.
I have DeMar DeRozan at 5,
I
and
have
then
DeRozan at 6.
yeah, and then Mitchell at 6.
Okay. I see Mitchell as a better defender, and he fits the NBA better than
Yeah,
DeMar
I think
DeRozan.
DeMar would be way better 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah. So then 7, I have Devin Booker.
I have Drew Holiday at 7, and then Booker at 8. So.
I have CJ McCollum at 8. So I'll
Oh
just
damn!
say
I completely forgot about CJ.
okay, so 7, I have Devin Booker because he has the same problem as Bradley Beal, basically empty stats on a bad team.
Yeah,
Um,
they're even worse than the Wizards, or
yeah.
at least they were last season.
yeah. Then I have CJ because CJ in the playoffs, I was sleeping on CJ beforehand. CJ was maybe the better player than Dame against the Nuggets in the playoffs, and he showed me that he's an elite guard in the NBA.
Okay, I'll throw CJ in at 9, and then at 10 I have Lou Will. Just
9, I have
because.
Drew Holiday, and then 10, I have Buddy Hield. Averaged 20 points last season, shot some of the highest 3-point percentage last season, and he just had a breakout year last year.
I
to
think
be
Buddy will
honest.
probably have more points than Lou, but I just think Lou's especially on a team that I think is the championship contender, they need a good 6-man. So
Okay, so for small forwards, I have as my number 1, I have Kawhi Leonard,
same.
then Kevin Durant,
Same.
then LeBron.
Yep.
So the reason we have this is obviously because LeBron last year wasn't his best season. Any other year, LeBron's number 1 on the small forwards list easily, but just not last season.
And I think KD most seasons would be higher than Kawhi, but just because Kawhi was obviously the Finals MVP, you know, it was pretty obvious.
4, I have Paul George.
Same.
5, I have Jimmy Butler.
I do as well.
6, I have Chris Middleton.
Same.
7, I have Luka Doncic.
Okay, I got Gallinari at 7, but then I have Luca at 8. So
I don't even have Gallinari on my list.
damn.
So the reason I have Luka Doncic here is because 5 and 6,
I think
something like
something
that.
like that, yeah.
Really good shooting splits
As a rookie,
as a rookie.
Yeah.
So it's
and he was doing it for years
yeah.
overseas, so it's not likely to stop. I just have Gallinari because he led the Clippers to the playoffs. I mean, just what did he have, like 22 or something?
Okay, he had 20. I have Tobias Harris at 8 because before he left, he was playing better than Gallinari.
Oh, I have Tobias Harris as a power forward, so that kind of throws it off. But I have him at 6 on the power forward, so that's around the same range.
Yeah, we'll just not
Pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, we'll just pretend that.
Okay,
9, I have Jason Tatum.
I do too.
Not his best. His rookie season was better than last season.
Yeah.
He's taking too many early mid-range shots early in the shot clock. He's still top 10.
Yeah.
Small forward.
For sure.
10, Brandon Ingram is my 10.
I honestly think Brandon Ingram is better or will be better than Otto Porter. I just have Otto Porter at 10 because he went from I think he had 14 on the Wizards to 19 on the Bulls. So pretty obvious improvement the second he left Washington. So
Okay, so
great.
I could see that. It's just Brandon Ingram, I think, had his best season ever, at least after. He went on a run where he was averaging 24 and he shot really well from the field,
Yeah.
and 3, So power forward, number 1, Giannis
Same.
Antetokounmpo, Draymond Green.
Oh no, Draymond, playoff Draymond, maybe.
Yeah, that's why.
Damn, I have Draymond at 7. Nah, dude.
No,
What do you mean?
that-
He's not better than
That's
Blake
one
Griffin.
of the worst takes I've ever heard.
Well, okay, fine. He's probably
He's not worse than Tobias Harris. Oh my god, no.
Draymond.
No! You did not just put him worse than Tobias Harris.
But besides defense and hustle plays, every player above him is better at shooting and better at scoring.
They're not better passers, they're not better rebounders.
Well,
He does all the things that don't show up on the stat. There's no way he's the 7th best
fine.
power forward.
Even if I put him at 5, I think Blake Griffin, LaMarcus, and Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge.
I do
are
not
better.
think Blake or LaMarcus are better players than Draymond Green.
Damn.
Okay, we'll just we just won't even go there right now. Okay, 3 I have Kristaps.
I have Kristaps at 4.
Kristaps, elite shooter, and he's 7'3". That's all I really need to say.
Yeah.
4 I have LaMarcus. Had a better had. I don't know. I just think that he fits the. He was on a playoff team, and I think he played better than DeMar last year. And Blake Griffin, I don't know. Actually, I think Blake Griffin's better than LaMarcus. He's 4. LaMarcus is 5. I'll
Okay.
just switch those.
And then at 5, I got Pascal.
I have him at 6.
Okay.
I think he's going to improve again. 15 points per game. Shoots well from the field.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Okay, so then obviously, I think it's fair to say Draymond's better than Tobias Harris, but I think Tobias Harris could be 7 then.
I just don't have him on this list. So 7 I have Kevin Love.
Okay, I have obviously Draymond, questionable.
8 I have Lauri Markkanen.
Okay, I got Julius Randle at 8,
I have Julius Randle at 9.
and I got Al at 9,
At 10.
and then I have John Collins at 10.
No, I could see. Yeah.
I had Lowry.
I might have John Collins over Julius Randle, to be honest.
Could be. Julius Randle on the Pelicans, but Julius Randle on the Knicks could be like.
Well, no, he
improved.
averaged 20 last year.
I know, but I think he might do more this year with a
Okay,
Kyrie
so
team.
center, I have Anthony Davis is number 1.
Yeah.
2, I have Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic. I really
Okay.
don't care who's in front of who.
It's close.
So 2 and 3, I think
Yeah,
that's
I have 2
everyone.
and 3 too.
Then 4, I have Cat.
I have Rudy at 4 and then Cat at 5.
Okay, the reason I have Cat above Rudy is because Rudy's just not a great offensive
Oh yeah, he's just
player.
pure defense
Yeah.
and layups. Obviously.
So I have him at 5, but it's just a swap
Yeah.
basically. And then 6, I have Andre Drummond.
I got Capella at 6 and then 7 I have Drummond.
Switch. They're the same
Similar,
player
very, yeah.
basically. 8, I have Vucevic.
I got Steven Adams. Oh wait, I forgot I didn't have Vucevic on the list.
Okay, so the reason I don't have Steven Adams, I have him at 9, but I barely because
Yeah.
he played horribly in the playoffs.
Playoffs. Yeah.
So we'll just and then 10, I have Miles
I
Turner.
have Miles Turner at 9 and then I would probably have Vucevic higher, so then I threw in DeAndre Ayton at 10.
Alright, so this concludes our
First episode of the what was it? The shit.
whatever the fuck we said.
Omega
podcast.
Drip.
Dablet,
Whatever it is.
podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed.
We'll probably get somebody else on next time.
Yeah, we'll get Tyler the Creator on.
Oh god.
Did it get that? Oh shit.